What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Box Out Boys podcast. We are the NBA podcast of the people, your home for lukewarm takes and substandard analysis. I'm Titus Dominguez, and joining me tonight is the tweet god, Chris Gorman. What's trending? Chris?
Hey! There's a tweet. There's a stat going around that I'm really into. So Golden State, with Draymond Green this year, are 28-6. Without him, they are 15-13. This man has missed nearly 30 games, but really he should be up for not only Defensive Player of the Year but the MVP. But that's probably not going to happen. But the records say otherwise.
I knew you were going to get to that at some point. I heard some of those stats going around, and it is quite jarring. He's also getting minutes tonight. It is the ambassador, Joey McCrowski. Get that, Joe.
Hello. It's great to be back.
Oh, yeah, you're joining us again. You were off last
back.
week. He's back.
Welcome back.
Oh,
I just sang a welcome back song for myself. Ooh. This is not the real world.
Hey, keeping us on time with those computer clocks is the dope boy, Adam, the professional runs. How the levels tonight, Adam?
They are tick-tocking away.
Tick-tock. Tick-tock.
And drift away.
Oh, man. It's a very musical episode. We got another song? Were we dropping another song?
Yeah.
Let's hope we don't drift away for Adam.
We don't drift away. Well, we got lots to talk about. We're going to talk about the stretch run this week. We got probably, about 20-something games, a little less than that, I think, at this point. But we got about 5 or 6 questions going into the end of the season that we want to kind of discuss some of the main topics going into the last quarter of the season, really hitting the stretch run here going into the playoffs, see what that's all about. And then we're probably going to do a quick check-in on our preseason picks, see how those are going. So far, so good.
We'll take a gander.
We'll take a gander. Heard there's a few choice juicy takes that Joey has pulled aside for us. Without any further ado, let's go ahead and get into our big topics for tonight. Our number one question we're going to start off with after the big trade: are the Sixers the new title favorites? Especially after this weekend, they housed New York 125-109, housed the Wolves 133-102, and currently up again on New York. So, maybe not the best teams in the world that they're going up against right now, but, looking really sharp. And Harden's looking like he's engaged. Embiid's looking like nobody can stop him. It's looking ridiculous. But kind of going to you guys, what is your general thoughts on that take? Are they the title contenders? Or are they, at the very least, the East favorites? What do you guys think, Chris?
So the way they beat the Timberwolves is a very impressive win, considering that's the only loss the Timberwolves have had this year. The Timberwolves did beat Memphis, Cleveland, and Golden State. They're 3-1 since the break. I'll get more into that later. But the 76ers are they're not the title favorites. It's still Milwaukee. When push comes to shove, come playoff time, assuming Brook Lopez actually comes back fully healthy, give me Milwaukee over the Sixers all day.
A lot of assumptions there.
And another team, yeah, that's true. But another team that I gotta start taking more seriously is Miami.
Yes,
they're winning with Max Struss, hitting threes everywhere. I don't know who that guy is, but this team is they just got it. I don't know, man. And then, so yeah, those are the other two teams I think I would honestly consider. I had the Cavs and the Celtics on here as well, but that's just more like, hey, they're fun. They're doing some things.
Fun. We have to re-tier them up.
That's the whole Eastern Conference at that point, man. You got
the whole Eastern Conference is in there. Joey, your thoughts?
Did not mention the Bulls.
Ouch.
It stings, guys.
Fair.
Joey, what are your thoughts on the new look Sixers? Are they everything that they're categorized as? I'm watching Harden just go to the basket and get an and one right now. What do you think about them, man? I mean, Harden looks really good.
Yeah, Harden looks really good. I'm kind of with Chris though. I think the Bucks still have to be your favorite just by resume alone. The other big thing is it's been 2 games, 3 games now. Granted, they've come back from like 20 down against the Knicks, so that's kind of scary. But
yeah,
I just don't see in the playoffs that they're going to be shooting as many free throws as they did in the game over the weekend. Things get tightened down. The play gets a little more physical. Harden, what I think the stat was his first game that if he didn't have free throws, he would have only had 4 points or something. He shot like 20 something free throws. Like, it was an absurd number.
Yeah, it was a lot of free throws.
Yeah, you can't count on that in the playoffs to, get you through all these games. On the flip side of that, though, Embiid and Harden seem to be meshing quite well, and the whole Matisse Thybulle and Tyrese Maxey, all that, seems to be coming together. The big thing that I'm watching on the Sixers, not watching, but noticed is, we've dogged Tobias Harris ad nauseum on this podcast. Chris has had him as the leader and sole staple member of the all you can have him team. And I think that has been cemented pretty darn good with this new look team.
Yeah, he's clearly kind of like their fourth option right now. And so, yeah, it's kind of definitely a step back for him. I do kind of agree with what you guys are saying. I think they certainly look scary. I mean, getting some real like Kobe Shaq vibes from those guys right now. I do wonder about kind of the rest of the team around them, the depth when the playoffs come. Are those guys going to be able to contribute as much as they are right now? Especially when teams start to really make them make plays. A lot of teams are going to try to shut down Harden and Embiid as much as they can. Obviously, that's going to be tough, but yeah, they certainly look dangerous. Go ahead.
They've played 3 or 4 games together.
Yeah,
and like you're saying, Titus, when it comes to playoff time, you're not going to get to the line as much. You got to have some kind of rhythm, some plays. That's why the Heat, they've been together for so long. The Bucks, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think the Bucks defensively are going to pick it up a little bit in the playoffs. I know right now they're not really going all out. It doesn't seem like, and I don't know. It's good, but playoffs are going to be fun. Playoffs are going to be real.
There's a lot going on.
Also, on a personal level, I think we all can agree the 76ers are just not a team to love.
No, I hate them.
Just kind of villainous.
Embiid, I used to like that Embiid was kind of being a villain. He looked like he was kind of having fun with it. But then they got Harden, and then you always factor in the Philly fan base, the fact that they boo Santa and all that. You can't root for that team.
Yeah,
that old chestnut.
And the fact that the way they got Embiid and the whole tanking thing, and
it's just I don't like Harden, and I kind of think like the way Embiid has, I don't know, acted since Ben has left is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of making me kind of sour on him a little bit. I really wasn't I was more neutral on him than anything. I didn't love him, didn't hate him, but I thought he was a funny guy, and I think him and Harden are going to be funny in press conferences and stuff. But as far as on the floor, I don't want to see a team shoot 1.5 million free throws, man. That sucks.
I don't want to see a 4-hour basketball game with 50 free throws from one team. No chance.
So, and I'll be rooting against them, even though I think they're going to be real tough to beat.
Yeah.
We're kind of moving on from there to our second question, sort of related. Is Joel Embiid, Giannis' equal? So I think, that like Chris is kind of saying, Milwaukee's probably still the overall favorite. You can't really count Miami out. And then I think Sixers are also there in that mix. So given what we're seeing, can Embiid have a Giannis-like run like last year, like Giannis had, and be that guy this year for Philly? And, in a potential matchup, are they going to go square off against each other, go toe to toe? That's going to could be a fun series. What do you guys think? Just in general, is he kind of having that kind of season?
Well, absolutely. I think. Did you mention you have the stats? Do you have the stats in front of you?
Well, I just had. I did a quick look at some of their stats, and I compared them. And I didn't actually jot down the numbers, but they are basically like mirror players. I think Giannis still has the edge. He's got some slightly better percentages, except for threes. Embiid is a better 3-point shooter, but other than that, Giannis is a better overall shooter. He's got slightly better per 36 numbers and just like your standard numbers, so rebounds, points, assists, all that stuff. Slightly better in most categories. There's a pretty decent difference in the advanced stats in the PER, the win shares, and the box plus minus. I think those were the biggest gaps between Giannis and Embiid. Overall, Giannis was the better player, but it wasn't by a lot. It wasn't really by a ton. So I
think the only difference really between Embiid and Giannis is like Giannis, man, he went through so much for that championship last year. When you think about the countdown that was going on at the free throw line and
Oh yeah.
everything that happened that really grinded that season. We haven't really seen that from Embiid, right? Like Embiid's kind of like this fun-loving big guy, but really when push came to shove, he kind of faltered, right? So
Yeah. Well,
that, you know,
have they been to the conference finals? I'm trying to remember.
the
Or they only-
Sixers,
the
no, well, they
Sixers.
lost to the Raptors, they lost to the Hawks.
Yeah, they haven't made it.
No, they haven't.
So like I'm gonna be curious to see how Embiid does. I mean, we already kind of know what Harden is in the playoffs, and will the ghosts of Harden come back to haunt him? But I will be curious to see what Embiid does in a conference finals, especially against like a Giannis. Joey, what are your thoughts on Embiid versus Giannis? Are they the same guy?
I think Embiid is Giannis with a jump shot.
Ooh.
But would you call him his equal or superior? I don't think so. Like when it comes down to it, you're gonna trust Giannis driving to the lane more than you're gonna trust Embiid pulling up for three or pulling up for a jump shot, right? Like in the finals, you've got one to choose from. You're gonna take Giannis right downhill.
Yeah, I think
doing his thing. And to Chris's point, we've seen Giannis do it. We saw what he went through in the playoffs last year with the free throw countdowns and all the nonsense that he couldn't shoot free throws. And then, I mean, he missed 2 games in that finals, right? With a knee injury.
Yeah, I believe so.
And came back and, won and got himself 50 in the final in game 6 and got himself some chicken minis. And, it's just
50 piece.
Like Embiid can be Giannis, I think. Like, he can get to that point, but until he proves something to us, you can't consider him at that level yet.
I think I agree. I still would have Giannis as a better player, but Embiid certainly is creeping up. And we'll kind of get into a little MVP talk a little bit later, but it's going to be an interesting race between those two and some other guys. So, yeah, all right. I like that. Moving on in the Eastern Conference.
Man, we're 2 for 2, all in agreement here.
Yeah, it's very. I
I
think
like it. Yeah,
we'll
no,
probably
I
have
like
some disagreement here. Probably have some disagreement here.
Yeah.
So our third question, looking for the stretch run here. What is the best first round matchup for our Bulls? They're not doing so well against the top teams. It's kind of been a rough season as far as that goes. A couple losses this weekend were tough for the Bulls, but looking at how the playoffs are going to shake up. Everybody's saying the Eastern Conference is going to be an absolute bloodbath. Every matchup's going to be tough. What are some of the best matchups the Bulls can get? Joey, what are your thoughts, man?
All right, I think I'm going to make sure we don't agree on this one. So I'm going to run with the Cavs.
Oh, my gosh.
Terrible.
Wow. Okay.
The best matchup, right?
Woo!
So I think the Cavs are...
Out of your mind.
Ooh, we got some shouting. Ooh,
All
good.
right. Let the man speak.
All right.
I'm back. Hold me back.
I think the Cavs are a little bit out over their skis, right? I think they've outkicked their coverage a little bit so far this season. I think we're seeing them come back a little bit to earth. Yes, they've had some injuries right now. They're kind of dealing with, but they're on a little bit of a slide.
They're on their 6th point guard.
Yep.
But yeah.
Yep. Fair enough. But
Cavs Chris over here.
the continuity, right? So, kind of looking at it, Bulls have had their injury train. They're a young team in terms of time spent together, right? Cavs are kind of the same way. They have some veteran type players, and they've got also a lot of younger guys. So when you kind of put it down on paper, you've got 2 teams that are kind of in the same thing, right? They were not supposed to be where they're at this season, right? This was supposed to be a next season after type thing. They're overachieving, right? We can all agree. I think the Bulls are overachieving their expectations right now. Cavs are kind of doing the same thing. The Bulls did add Tristan Thompson, which I think gives them a little bit more, it gives them more depth at the center position, gives them a little bit more height if they need to, which helps against the Cavs a bit. And the guard play, I think, kind of matches up well. So I think when you kind of put it all down on paper, there's a pretty equal matchup. But I think when it comes down to it, when you're getting some of those switches with the guards and whatnot, the Bulls should be able to shoot them out of a game if they had to. Could it go the complete opposite way on me? Yeah, absolutely. Could the Cavs do exactly what I'm saying the Bulls could do? For sure. But after seeing what the Heat did to the Bulls the other night, fearing Brooklyn, they have no answer for Giannis. They have no answer for Embiid. Boston, I don't think they have a good answer for Tatum unless, Patrick Williams is back and super healthy. So, kind of looking at it, putting all that out there, I think the Cavs might be their best chance to advance out of the first round.
All right. That's a fairly convincing argument. I'll save my response until we let Chris go. I think he's more of the Cavs guy. So what are your thoughts, Chris? Well, as far as just like on Joey's take of the Cavs being the best matchup, Joey, did you have any other teams you were thinking about, or no? Just
I wrote down one. I'm just gonna start with it.
so then we'll go.
So I know we're gonna get to like our bad picks later, but I was reviewing it like a few weeks ago, and I remember Joey took the under on the Cavs. I'm pretty sure the over under was 26.5. I went high up. I said 38 wins. They're at 36 right now. Now I got that out of the way. Yeah, I agree with Joey actually. DeMar DeRozan, like when it comes down to it, if it's a tight game, you have DeMar DeRozan versus Darius Garland. Who do you want taking that shot, right? And the king of the fourth has been striving and killing it right now. Well, most of the time. So, but it'll be interesting. Like the Cavs feel like, they got Mobley, who's going to be Rookie of the Year, Garland, who's an All-Star, Allen, who should have been an All-Star. It feels like they should win a round, but like. Yeah, it would be tight. I think it would still be Bulls in 6. But I was gonna say my most favorable matchup, when we talked about this briefly, is the Raptors. That's Scotty Barnes, Fred VanVleet, Pascal Siakam. I'm not afraid of those guys. They're solid guys. You can have most. I take Scotty Barnes, but you can take most of those. You can have most of those guys. So, yeah, the Cavs. That I guess you went with the highest team that you would be comfortable the Bulls playing with, basically, with the Cavs.
Yeah, I think the Raptors are a pretty fair pick. I mean, realistically, it'd be like, hey, give me Charlotte. Like that would be
right. Yeah, or the Hawks. Yeah.
Give me Charlotte or Atlanta. Like that
the
would
Cavs
be.
I think I'm gonna agree with Joey overall. Yeah.
No, I think you guys were a hot spot on. Chris, you kind of said my team, which was the Raptors. That's a team who right now potentially, let's pretend that they won the 7th seed. That's who the Bulls will be playing right now. And I thought that would be a fair matchup for the Bulls. They should be able to make a second round series if they played them. Joey's argument about the Cavs has kind of not convinced me, but sort of swayed me to kind of believe that that's a decent matchup for the Bulls. I don't like it because the Cavs are tough and they're feisty. And I think no matter who really in the Eastern Conference, outside of those bottom 3, and I'm talking about the bottom 3 in the play-in, I think you're getting a solid matchup either way. I do like the Cavs and the Raptors as being potentially victories for the Bulls. I think I agree with both of you guys on those. Another round of
We've got some problems.
All right, we'll disagree on this next one for sure.
All right, next one for sure. We got to disagree at some point. So number 4 question going into the end of the season: who is your biggest Western Conference sleeper? Anybody want to go first?
Yeah, I got this. So I went through all the teams. Phoenix and Golden State are not sleepers. Nope. As long as Draymond Green comes back, as I said at the beginning, Golden State will be fine. Memphis, I don't know if you can really count them as a sleeper. I honestly don't even I don't like them enough to because they just have John Morant. They have a team that could win a round, but they're not really sleeping. Utah, not taking Utah. Dallas, this roster is garbage. Hot, steamy. I don't understand why this team has 37 wins and 25 losses with Luka and Jalen Brunson being the
I think you just said it.
The duo.
It's the name first.
It's all Luka.
Luka.
Come playoff time, Luka will win you around. Maybe he took the Clippers to 7 back-to-back years. I think.
I think so.
And then you got Denver, who is full of holes. And man, if this team was healthy,
I think we're going to agree on this one.
I think we're all
juggernaut. Damn it! All right, my sleeper team is the Minnesota Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Oh,
mine too. Mine too.
They have all the guys. They got Karl Anthony Towns, who just had a great game against Golden State yesterday. Anthony Edwards, who's coming into his own and has a chip on his shoulder for not making the All-Star team. Then D'Angelo Russell, who's a solid 2.5, like a 2-3 kind of guy. I wouldn't want him as my second option, but some games maybe. This team's and then Jared Vanderbilt just grabbing all of the boards on that team. He's just the garbage man for them. I like Minnesota. I like what they're doing. I like how they started this second half. And I think it's going to continue. That's it.
Joey, is that your team as well?
That is my team. My only concern with them is that if they do get stuck in that 7th seed where they're at right now, so they're 2 games behind the Nuggets for 6, I could see them having like a really bad stinker, somewhere in the plan, and then laying another one after just, kind of getting blitzed in the first one. I think that was kind of an early season trait of theirs, was they would have a couple, a good stretch and then a really, really bad stretch. They seem to kind of kick that and been kind of more consistent now. But I mean, Cat's been on a mission, it seems like, this year. He's been much more focused. I think he's finally got the team around him. I mean, last winter and summer, we were talking about, like, yeah, he's got to get out of there. He's got to get out of Minnesota. Like, he's never going to do anything there. Like, it's time, move along. And he stuck it out, and they got some pieces around him. And yeah, I think they're the biggest sleeper. Do they have a chance in the Western Conference at all? No. But do they have a chance to make some noise? Yeah, absolutely.
So that's kind of a question I wanted to ask you guys, because I think they're a little far down the rankings. So what do you guys, when you mean sleeper, what do you guys think? Do you mean, like, could they make a conference finals?
I think I could, if everything broke correctly, Minnesota can make the finals, because Chris Paul's hurt, Draymond stays hurt. If it's Memphis against Minnesota, then it could be them in the West.
Okay, well, that actually, when you lay it out like that, I mean, we'll see what happens with Chris Paul, because if Chris Paul's not there, Phoenix isn't Phoenix. That's for sure. And then I'm with you guys, where I have zero trust and faith in Utah at all. I don't expect them to do anything. But I do differ from you guys a little bit in the two teams that I kind of had as sleepers. It does rely on health. It is the Nuggets and the Clippers for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the Clippers, I don't think Kawhi's coming back, but if they got Paul George back, could they make a conference finals again? Sure. That team's been really solid all year. They're just missing their top tier players who have been out all season. I don't remember if I actually said it in the pod or not, but they're my team for next year to win the finals.
Yeah.
Calling it now, but
called it like 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. I want it on the record. Clippers 2023 champs. But I think if they got Paul George back, and if the Nuggets got both their guys back, Murray and who's the other guy that's out?
Michael Porter Jr.
Michael Porter Jr. Yeah. If they got those guys back, I mean, even if they just in time for the playoffs, they really didn't have a lot of warm up with Jokic playing as good as he's playing, and like you said, the West maybe not as strong as the Eastern Conference is. I could definitely see one of those two teams kind of sneaking their way in and getting something done. But I like your Minnesota pick too. Very interesting. But
a lot of injuries, man.
The injuries really kind of hampers everything, because I think
COVID really killed it.
COVID, you're doing great this season.
I mean, killed, like, never mind.
He killed everything. Let's move on. All right. Another sort of playoff implication question we have: who is more likely to stay? Let's say stay in the play-in game, the Nets or the Lakers? Anyone want this one? I can jump in on this.
I was gonna let Joey go first. I feel like
no, Titus, go ahead. You
I can jump in. I always feel weird like throwing it to myself. Like, I'll take this one.
Hey, just toss it right up.
I think the Nets have the best chance to make the actual playoffs. I know Kevin Durant is still, a week or two off, I would imagine.
No, Kevin Durant is back tomorrow.
Oh, tomorrow. Okay, never mind then. But with Kevin Durant coming back, they're gonna be
tomorrow against the Heat. Yep.
And it sounds like the mandates are slowly starting to lift, and hopefully, within a month or two, I think Kyrie can be back full time playing for them, and then it won't be an issue. I mean, Ben is still the question mark as far as what's going to happen with him. In his case specifically, I think that's more their playoff potential as how he can play. But I imagine they will be out of the play-in tournament pretty quickly here once they get their guys back. And so that, to me, means that the Lakers are most likely to stay there. It seems like they'd be hard-pressed to fall out, but I honestly, I can see them falling completely out of the play-in tournament, too, as well. The Lakers have been having a tough time.
Not really liking that DJ Augustine signing, huh?
No, I do not.
Doesn't do much for you?
That is not doing enough for me.
Former Bulls guard who was better than Kobe White.
Whoa.
Wait,
Kobe's catching strays right now.
Play for the Bulls?
Yeah.
When did,
Joey's like that's common knowledge. Yeah,
that's
Wow.
like
I'm pretty sure he did, right? Am I?
I think he did. No,
I just remember in
I thought it was,
Orlando and
Texas
I'm pretty
Longhorns.
sure he
yeah,
played
he's
for
been everywhere. I think he played with Durant in college. Yeah, this guy's been in the league forever.
Yeah, he was a Longhorn, right? That's what I thought. That's
Yep.
where I know him from. But what do you guys think? Are the
Yeah,
Nets
he
going
played
to
with
kind
the
of fall
Bulls
out
for
of this
one
dive?
season, 13 to 14. Sorry. Okay.
It's not bad.
I agree with you, Titus. I hate that I agree with you. That's kind of it, right? Like once the Nets get their pieces back, they'll be fine.
Yeah, they're
The problem is they need to get their pieces back. Ben Simmons is learning how to shoot with Kyle Korver. And honestly, maybe he does have a mental. It doesn't matter. I don't know. We
He's got
don't
back
know.
issues
It's not- we're
now,
talking about
supposedly,
it.
so.
Whatever. I don't care.
Dude, he's just
Um,
waiting to come back until after that 76ers game, March 10th. He's not going to play in Philly.
That's a take.
Man,
Wait.
we can. I know that's yeah. He's missing the Philly
It's
game.
it's 8 days. It's a next Thursday. He's
So,
not. He's
Will he
waiting
be
till that
back by
game is
St.
passed.
Patrick's Day? Is that kind of?
He
that
probably
kind of
plays the
look?
game after that. You watch. Like he's not going to
That's
go back
amazing.
there.
The thing, and man, I don't know. We didn't really have this as a topic, but I kind of want to get into it. This guy's nuts for missing that game, right?
I mean,
What do you
Yeah.
mean? He
Like,
might get shot if he goes play.
What-
plays that game.
But I mean, like, I think there's part of me that is like, dude, just get this over with. Like, I know, I have sympathy for him. I wouldn't want to be going there either. But I'm like, you're going to tell me potentially that your first time back in Philadelphia is going to be in a playoff game?
right? Rather
Are
do
you
it now
kidding me, dude?
than a playoff game for sure.
You want to have that like on your shoulders of, I don't know. And I hope he does come back to kind of get some reps in.
We should have
Again,
like psychological hour to talk about stuff like this because
Yeah.
is that better to? Is it better to? Sometimes you'd rather just like hope it doesn't happen, right? Like
I mean,
I think that's what he's kind of hoping for. Like maybe I
think-
won't have to go back to Philly.
I think if that was the real situation, if I was the Nets, I would have a conversation with him. I go, look, man, is this something you feel like you could mentally get yourself into a place that you can go play in Philadelphia? And if he was like, honestly, no, I don't want to avoid it. I hope it doesn't happen. I would go, all right, man, we're going to shut you down. We're just going to bring you back next season,
Yeah.
and we're not gonna mess with it because
We're
otherwise
gonna
it's just
die.
going to loom over you, and it's just going to be all this pressure. Like we want you here on the team. We want you to get right. So there's no point in rushing you to try to get back because I think the realistic thing is that the Nets, even without Ben Simmons, are potentially finals, or finals contenders with Kyrie and Durant. That's for sure.
And Curry.
And Curry, yeah, Curry, Durant, and Kyrie. With those guys, they're definitely could potentially make the finals, could potentially win the finals. So it's
I
not like
agree.
Simmons is coming back to some situation that's going to be no pressure. He's coming back to one of a team that has aspirations.
Yep.
So if you really can't do that, then I think you need to just come back next season when you can just ramp up like a normal regular season and go that way. But
Yeah.
Back to our actual question.
But yeah,
What do you-
with
What
so
about the
let's talk about the
Lakers?
Lakers real quick. The problem with the Lakers, we got the surging Timberwolves, who are the 7th seed,
Mhm.
and then you got
Yeah.
Nuggets, Mavericks, Jazz, Grizz, Warriors. They're not replacing any of those teams.
No.
They're staying in the
No.
play-in, if anything. And Titus, you were even saying they might fall out of the play-in.
Yeah.
New Orleans Pelicans has been a 500 team since they started. I think like 6 and 18, something like that.
Yeah,
They've
they
been
were rough.
500 for a while,
It's a
which I
wild
know for the
run.
Warriors is bad, but for the Pelicans, that's really good. And they're the 10th seed now. Then you got the Trailblazers who won't go away with Anthony Simons. The Kings are 13th. They're trying. They're trying.
trying.
They're gonna make it. The Kings are not gonna make the play-in. I love it, but
Oh my
the Lakers.
God.
The Lakers should be fine. I don't know. I don't know anymore.
I
with
don't-
The Lakers.
Man, I don't know. So they're 9 games back of the 6th seed, and they're 2 games ahead of being in the play-in period. So
They're
there's a
making the
2-game
play-in.
split for them not to be in the play-in. Like they're not. They're
I guess.
they're significantly closer to the bottom than they are to the
Yeah.
top of that bracket.
Now here's maybe the better question at this point. Now, are the Lakers getting out of the play-in?
No,
I don't think they are.
no.
I don't think they're making the playoffs. The real
So-
playoffs.
They have to play. The
Oh,
Pelicans,
you mean
right?
so they have to beat the Pelicans, then beat the Clippers or Timberwolves.
No, they're not winning 2 games in the play-in.
Even if they do, then they have to play the Suns or the Warriors. Like
They're gonna get rolled up again.
I
no.
kind of want to see them get rolled up by the Suns. Actually,
That would be kind of cool. But
Maybe if
I
Anthony
No,
Davis can like.
I'd kind of rather see them get blitzed by the Pelicans. That'd
man,
be
could
so
you
happy
imagine
if
if like the
their
Pelicans
choice.
beat him in that first game and then the Lakers are just
Oh,
done?
man.
They're one game and out.
Just get
Yeah.
beat up by a Zion-less Pelicans?
There's another injury potential. Does he come back? Yeah,
He ain't
Oh yeah,
coming
that's
back.
the game he comes back
He's-
for. Just
he's-
first game
he's
back.
gone.
Just-
he's gone. He's obviously, but yeah, I mean that would be crazy because they have CJ, they have Ingram, they got guys, they got some
They
guys.
got some guys.
Like
Jonas?
I don't know. Even if Anthony Davis is back and healthy, I mean I don't see it for
Okay,
them. this
wait,
year,
hang on.
man.
If Anthony Davis is back and healthy,
But I
then they're a title team.
No, get out of here.
No.
Get out.
Fake
I don't
news.
care
Anthony
if he's
Davis
healthy.
hasn't been Anthony Davis all season. Like,
Yeah, exactly. I don't expect him to flip a switch.
but that's
in
why I'm
last-
saying like he's not going to come back fully healthy and ready. I don't know. Like it's just all right. Let's stop talking about the Lakers. We talked about them prior and they suck. Let's
Yeah,
not
they
give
suck.
them all this
I
time.
think we all agree. The question is who's more likely to be stuck in the play-in? It's the Lakers.
It's Lakers.
Yeah.
We've
A lot of
agreed on
agreement here.
every single question.
Every single-
5 for
I
5,
think the
guys.
Western Conference sleepers were had a couple different teams.
I think we maybe it's number 6 we can do.
No, I think
Okay.
we're all agreeing on this too. But we'll see.
Baskets has a question that's actually kind of ironic if we agree on the sixth question.
Yeah, we'll answer hers. Her baskets question
Baskets.
here. All
I
right.
don't know why you're putting pronouns in here.
Sorry, man.
Anyway.
I forget that. Once I know who this person
There.
is. There. All right. We'll answer their question when we get done with number 6. All right, number 6. Will Ja finish above DeMar in the MVP race? So go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Quick
No, I was-
update on this is the MVP odds updated to have Ja Morant and DeMar DeRozan have the same MVP odds at plus 1,000.
On
And they're still
Which was-
behind Jokic, Antetokounmpo, and
So
Embiid,
it's Embiid with minus 115, Jokic at plus 300, Giannis at plus 550, and then Ja and DeMar at plus 1,000.
Okay.
Which
Was,
Ja like 3 days ago was like plus 15, I think, 1,500.
what does Skeetsy's favorite basketball reference tracker have? So it has Ja at a 2.8% chance of winning MVP and DeMar DeRozan at 1.8. So they have Ja at 7 and DeMar at 10.
See, that's silly. I think. All right. I honestly, I went
Well,
back.
theirs
and-
is based
all
on
right.
right. So they built theirs based on prior voting. So they took all the votes in history and aligned all the stats and figured out basically like based on the stats and where the votes fell, this is who would likely win. So right now they're saying Jokic is first and Giannis is second, and then it falls
Jokic
off.
is first. Wow.
Jokic is first, Giannis is second, and then Embiid falls a far third after that. So basically, it's based on history, how people have voted in the past.
So yeah, Chris, what do you think, man? Should Ja finish above DeMar, or will he finish above DeMar?
So Ja is a lot more fun to watch than DeMar DeRozan, right? Just because of that dunk.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That is an insane. That Joe, I'm sure you love that dunk. You're a dunk guy.
It was pretty sick. I mean, it got me playing a new word game called Portal.
Portal.
I'm 2 for
Portal.
2, by the way, on Portal.
You got Eric Gordon yesterday.
I did, and I got today's
Wow.
too.
I got
I
today's
haven't
too,
done
dude.
it. I haven't
Did you
done
guys get
today's yet.
today's? Do you want
I
to
haven't done it
spoiler?
yet. I'm gonna do it after this.
All right.
All right,
Don't
no
spoil
spoilers.
it.
No spoilers for the.
I tried doing it again. I
Pirtle,
realized
right?
we're
Or is
doing
it
one a day.
Portal?
Portal.
Pirtle.
Jakob
Jakob-
Pirtle.
Jakob
Pirtle.
Pirtle.
I think
There's no
Portal
R in there.
from,
It's an E.
Portal.
I think it's from like Game of Zones.
Pirtle.
Anyways,
Yeah,
Ja Morant is probably going to finish above DeMar DeRozan MVP voting. But if Lonzo and Alex Caruso were healthy and the Bulls were still winning at the rate they were, DeMar would be the favorite to win MVP. But because the team's not as good, he's not going to be the MVP. Does that make sense? Like they're the same player,
So,
but because Ja's supporting cast is better, I think he's
Yeah.
going to finish higher than DeMar.
so are you kind of saying like Ja will finish ahead of DeMar, but DeMar probably should finish ahead?
Yeah, I
of
guess that's
Ja.
like a boring hedge, but yeah,
Yeah.
just it's
Yeah.
Ja. Just give it to
That's
Ja,
good.
especially if that flashy dunk. That's better than any mid range that DeMar will hit all season.
I think I'm in exact agreement with that. I mean, we were talking before we got on
God,
here.
Okay,
The stats are literally
have
in
to
line,
look
like
at
like
there.
to a T. I mean, the points are separated by. I'll run through it real quick. So
Portal.
the points are separated by less than 1 point per game. Less than.
Oh, that
one
was dunk was
rebound per
on
game.
Jakob Pertl too, by the way.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
that's what
was.
you-
Sorry, keep going.
That
The
was-
assists are a little bit different. Ja has more assists, but the role he plays is
Yeah, he's
is more
point
prone
guard.
to assist. Field goal percentage, they are 0.2% different. DeMar has the edge in win shares. Ja has the edge in player efficiency and box plus minus, and then the record. The Grizzlies have it. So on paper, they're pretty much identical stat wise this season. But if you have to come down to it, like, yeah, I think Chris is so spot on, and you're going to vote for Ja because he's Ja and he does Ja things. And like, you're not going to vote for the guy who's shooting mid range. And I know we keep saying this about how like frustrating it is that that's what he's known for. But like, it works, but it's not flashy. And when you're talking about like the 4th or 5th vote for MVP, like, you would give it to Ja. Like, I would do the same thing. And I'm a homer for the Bulls. So
I kind of, I guess I agree with your argument, but to kind of maybe play contrarian here for a little bit.
No.
Oh no.
Okay.
No, I kind of feel like DeMar is getting a little slept on as far as MVP conversation and voting is going, or well, I should say conversation. There hasn't been a vote yet, but I just don't feel like he's ever really been in the conversation as far as a serious guy. And I think like the run he's been on of the 30-point games, I know that came to an end, but still, it was an insane run. And with all the injuries the Bulls have had, and still to be kind of that 1-2 seed, still, even though with all these other teams surging, I felt like he should have maybe gotten a little more buzz. I still kind of generally agree with you guys. I think Ja will finish above him. I'm just surprised DeMar's not getting a little more love, a little more respect around the league. And maybe just because people don't really see the Bulls as a serious contender.
Yeah. I think he's getting it from the players, but he's not getting it from
like
the casual fan. You know what's wild about Ja? I remember a pod or an episode we did, and we were talking about, was it the New Year's resolution one where it was like Ja had been out for 2-3 weeks, and people were talking about, are the Grizzlies better without him?
Yeah.
They went on like a run. They won
like 8
games
we
or whatever.
We talked about that. We're like, relax.
And everybody's completely forgotten about that part. Like, that's just
Suddenly they're like, whoa, hey.
Substandard analysis, not just from us, but from everybody.
From everybody. All right. Well, let's go to our final question here. What was your most memorable disagreement in the NBA? Is this between the three of us here, right? Because I feel like that's obvious.
What, that Kobe White is
Kobe White.
It's the Kobe White debate. I mean, we've
been talking about Kobe White in a couple of weeks. I know there's some listener
exactly because he's finally where he belongs.
He's coming off the bench and playing great.
Right.
So
he's finding where playing great is a
all right, playing solid. He's
solid.
doing good.
He's a positive contributor to a playoff team.
That's fair.
And he'll be better once we get Caruso and all those guys.
And he's going to sign for 4 years, $68 million in Sacramento after next season, and we'll never see him again.
He feels like a Sacramento player for sure.
He does. Oh, it sucks.
That's kind of a.
Is that our most memorable? I guess that's it.
I think that's probably got to be it, right?
We had some disagreements. Maybe you'll go over them in
terms of the pod, though. Like, there's probably some of the picks. In terms of the pod, though, that's probably our biggest one. I'm trying to think of anything else
I've had a personal one, but it wasn't with you guys. It was with an older friend. We had a debate going back about Kemba Walker. He felt like this was coming out of UConn when he had that amazing run in the Final Four, that he was going to be a great player. And I told him he would never be a point guard on a championship team. And I just want to point out that I was right about that.
You're right. Yeah.
Thank you. That was it stuck with me for years. Sorry.
You know, it's a disagreement that I remember in the NBA. Where were you guys at with Stephen Curry at Davidson?
I loved him. Yeah.
Like going into the draft, I thought he'd be like. I thought it would translate. Right.
I thought he'd be a shooter. I didn't think he'd be.
Well, no one thought this, but like I thought he would be better than, obviously his pick, but better than like Johnny Flynn, better than a lot of the things that were going on. I remember I was talking like a lot of some people that were like, no, he's a college guy. He's too small to play. So
that was a memorable one for you.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't say that I was like, yeah, he's gonna be awesome. But I was like, yeah, I think he'll be.
Yeah, I did not see this.
I had a disagreement on Zion too. I thought Zion would be good. I was feeling pretty good about that one until last year and a half.
Well, let's wait on that.
Yes.
But yeah, those are some of our most memorable disagreements. Hopefully, we have more. It was a very podcast.
Man,
I don't like
even the Timberwolves one got me.
Well, you guys like super easy. Like it just like I opened up the standings and I was like, "It's a Timberwolves." It just felt right.
Homer. All right, well, let's move on. Let's find some of our terrible picks. we're gonna check in on our preseason picks. We made a bunch of preseason picks. I'm sure you guys all were listening to them and have memorized them and have been patiently waiting for us to reveal what had happened. Joey, I'm gonna throw it to you. Do this how you want to do it. Whether you want to hit on a couple ones we've got right.
Do you guys want to run through them real quick? I mean, we're a little young on time. You want to go through them, or do we want to just?
Yeah.
All right. Chris wants to run through them. Let's do it. All right. So just overall stats. So how it works out right now. Chris has 2 picks correct out of all of them. I have none. Titus has 1. The one that Chris has correct is the Suns as the West number 1. Titus has the number 1 draft pick as the Magic. I know that there's the lottery, but hypothetically, based on the worst record, it would be the Magic. Chris's 2 are the Suns, the West number 1, and Gobert as the rebounds per game leader. In terms of the tiebreaker of our Kobe White picks for points per game, field goal percentage, and assists per game, we all have one of those correct. So Chris has points per game, I have field goal percentage, and Titus has assists per game. So
I think you guys laughed at me with how high I went with Kobe's points too. I'm pretty sure I'm higher than you guys.
You were like 12 or 13, right?
You were the highest at 12.2 points per game.
Looking good, Chris.
Looking good. All right. So MVP. We each had 2 picks. I'll just go left to right. That's where I have it. So I have Giannis and Jokic. Titus has Doncic and Curry. Chris has Embiid and Durant. So I think Chris and I have that one.
So Embiid versus Jokic. You have a good one. You have Jokic and Giannis.
So
it's Embiid versus Jokic.
I think Titus is squeezed out of that one.
I'm out. Joey, you got, I think right now the best odds because you got 2 of the top 3 guys. So
yeah.
But Chris has got the number 1 guy. So
yep. Rookie of the year, I have Evan Mobley and Ayo Dosunmu. Titus has Jalen Green and Scotty Barnes. Jeez. And Chris has Cade Cunningham and Jalen Suggs.
Yeah.
I think
those were the guys.
those are the guys. We did pretty good on that one.
Yeah.
I think we got that one, and I'm happy with my sneaky pick on Ayo. So 6 man, I have Kevin Huerta and Bobby Portis. Not looking great. Titus has Jordan Clarkson and Derrick Rose.
Rose has been playing more, but
Chris has Patty Mills and Kobe White.
So nobody took Tyler
Hero. Man,
I think we might strike out on that one.
That's a tough one.
I think we might strike out.
What do we got for MIP?
Defensive Player of the Year is up next on the list. Sorry, just keep it so I can keep going. I have for Defensive Player of the Year, Anthony Davis and Bam Adebayo. Anthony Davis not looking good.
Bam's good, but second
not looking hot. Titus, this is in fact your worst pick. Not your first one, but your second one. Rudy Gobert is not a terrible pick, but Ben Simmons is your second pick.
Didn't even play. Wow,
as your worst pick.
Wow,
of them all.
I believe in you, Ben.
That is wow. Oh my God,
he hasn't played. I pick a guy that hasn't played.
And then Chris has Giannis and Joel Embiid.
Okay.
Player of the year.
I mean, neither of them are going to win it. It's going to be Gobert or Draymond.
Yeah, we might squeeze one other. Titus might squeeze a point there. Most improved player, I had Lonzo Ball and Tyler Hero.
Okay, yeah.
Titus had Michael Porter Jr. and Jordan Poole. Chris had Zach LaVine and Jaren Jackson Jr. And Chris's hot take was, I love Jaren Jackson Jr. in all capitals.
Oh, hey, it was a good pick. Jaren Jackson Jr.
Sorry, Titus, going back to Defensive Player of the Year, your hot take was it's a 30 for 30 Ben Simmons Defensive Player of the Year.
Thank you.
You were really high.
You were saying he was getting a documentary made about him at this point.
Wow. What? How many beers did I have at that point?
I remember I was pretty
Chris was blitzed at this point, yes.
Yeah. So nobody took Ja Morant. Which I don't.
Nobody took Ja, but we already.
He's already good.
He was already improved.
Yeah.
So why can't DeMar DeRozan win Most Improved Player?
It's a great. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it has to be like a second or like third year player always kind of thing, which isn't.
Because this is gonna be DeMar DeRozan's best season
for sure
of his career.
Yeah. At
32 years old.
Jeez.
A guy that's still older than me in this league. It's nice to see.
Younger than me, Jesus. DeMar. All right, keep it moving. What other picks we got?
Coach of the Year. I had Billy Donovan and Ime Udoka.
Oh, the Boston.
Yep. Titus had Budenholzer, which Chris's hot take was Coach Bud is a bad pick. Titus had Mike
Not wrong.
Budenholzer and Mike Malone. He went with the Mikes there. Chris had
Mike and
Steve
Mike.
Nash and Tyrone Lue. I
Tyrone.
don't
Tyrone.
think we're gonna get that
No.
one.
Who's the guy?
Yeah, who's winning that?
I
Is
don't
it-
know, but I don't think it's any.
Oh, yeah, so-
Oh,
no,
Cleveland.
it's-
JB
no,
Bickerstaff.
it's
Ooh,
Um,
Bickerstaff.
Bickerstaff or who's the coach of the Grizzlies? I see.
Taylor Jenkins.
Taylor Jenkins.
That's funny because Titus has said my third pick was Taylor Jenkins.
Ooh.
Oh wow! See that? I think
See?
he's
See,
got.
we need to expand this to 3 picks next year.
Oh
Yeah.
gosh. Well, we
Three
might as well have
picks.
we'll have the whole league covered at that point.
Then we gotta get
That's
through these right
cool.
at some point.
All right. East number 1. I had the Bucks. Titus had the Nets. And Chris had the Bulls.
Hey,
So right
I went
now,
Bulls,
those
wow.
are all looking pretty good. My pick looks the worst. The Bucks, I think, are 4 games out of the number 1 seed. Nets are 3. Bulls are 2. So that could score. East number 8, I had the Wizards. Titus had the Knicks. Chris had the Heat. So Chris with the bad pick there. Titus called this one, said Heat with the 8th throwaway pick.
Yeah.
Called that one out. West number 1, I have the Jazz. Titus has the Lakers. Chris has the Suns.
Ooh. All right. You said that already.
So that looking pretty good there. West number 8. This is Chris's worst pick. I had the Grizzlies.
Oh, yeah.
Terrible
No,
pick
no.
too. Titus had the Blazers. Not looking awful.
no,
Chris had the Warriors, and his hot take was Warriors. This isn't that far fetched.
Yeah, that's a low point for me.
it's a
No
low
point.
Cavs was
Low
my
point
high
is there.
point, and then Warriors is my
Yep.
low point. Yeah.
East champ. I had the Bulls.
Homer.
Titus had the Bucks. I had the first pick in this one too, and I went with
Wow.
it. I
You had
just-
to.
Are you sure I was the only one that was drunk?
Oh wait, no, I didn't. I had the last pick. Sorry, I have some columns hidden here. I had the last pick.
Okay.
I had the Bulls. Titus had the Bucks. Chris had the Nets. So
So nobody took the Heat.
nobody
well,
took the Heat, and
this
nobody
is
took the
East champ,
76ers.
though.
This is East champ.
Okay, I think we're okay.
West champ. I had the Nuggets.
Bucks Nuggets.
Bucks Nuggets. Titus had the Warriors, and Chris had the Lakers.
Oh,
Yeah.
One of these things
Not
is
that great.
not like the others.
yeah.
2 of these
Sorry.
things, most
Sorry,
likely.
but a couple of really rough ones there.
Finals matchup. I had Bucks Nuggets. Titus had Lakers Nets, and Chris had Bucks Lakers. And I want to say, of these 3 matchups, mine is the most likely to occur
Yes,
Yeah.
out of these.
this is the one that has a chance. The Lakers aren't going
Bucks
there.
Nuggets doesn't seem so,
Bucks Nuggets is so good.
anymore.
Oh my god! Why were we so high on the Lakers?
'Cause
Why
you
did
guys-
we
'cause
believe
you guys love
'Cause they have-
LeBron?
Anthony Davis and LeBron James. But the
they
problem
have
is
Russell
Anthony Davis-
Westbrook
He's not supposed to be this bad.
and Mr. Glass, Anthony Davis? We
supposed
should
to be
have
this bad.
known.
Right? Mr. Glass.
Wow.
And then LeBron going full turtle.
Just
I
turtle.
need to find a way to
turtle.
use that analogy like at work.
He
That's-
turtled. He
Oh,
turtled
also,
real
sorry,
bad.
going back to West Champ. Chris said Lakers done.
I can imagine myself being like, just done.
Lakers.
For Champ, I had Nets. Titus had the Bucks, and Chris had the Lakers. Titus's hot take was none of us get any of these teams.
Man, I was high on
That's-
the Lakers.
Possible.
Yeah.
Maybe I think it's gonna be Phoenix or maybe the Sixers. So
Number 1 draft. We're doing really good on this one. I had the Rockets. Titus had the Magic. Chris had the Thunder. Titus also said none of us get any of these teams, but I think we're going to get one of those teams.
I think so.
Scoring title. I took Luca. Titus took. This might be your worst take, actually. Titus took Damian Lillard.
Oh,
Wow.
he's
and
hurt.
Chris took Stephen Curry.
That was looking good early.
Embiid
Yeah,
or
looking good
Giannis.
early. Embiid or Giannis would be your leaders there. For assists, this is my worst take by far. I took Westbrook as the assist leader.
Ooh.
Wow.
Titus took Trey, which is looking fair. That could pan out. And Chris has
Okay.
Harden, which could also pan out.
Wow. Yeah.
And then in terms of rebounds, I took Capella. Titus had Jonas Valanciunas, and Chris had Rudy Gobert. Gobert is obviously leading that. Capella and Valanciunas, I think, are both top 5. So it's not.
Got Get some chances there.
We got some chances. We got some looks.
Got some looks. Well, all right, maybe not as bad as we thought, but yes, it's pretty hilarious how we get sucked up into the storylines of preseason and believe the Lakers are going to be. Wow.
Everyone but me. I was not behind the Lakers. Minus Westbrook.
Bucks Nuggets.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I'm going to speak them into existence.
They were my sleeper. I mean, if they get Jamal Murray back,
I did it for you because you love the Nuggets. Love Jamal Murray.
If they get, the way Jokic is balling out, if they get that guy back, there's a chance. So,
Well, Michael Porter might come back.
Yeah.
Soon, right? So
there's always a chance for Bucks.
There's always a chance for Bucks.
If we get Bucks Nuggets, we're gonna have to blow it out with a celebration.
If we get Bucks Nuggets, we have to go find me saying that, and that's going to be our opening for every episode for a year.
For the season.
Bucks Nuggets.
Bucks Nuggets. All right.
Panic pick, going last, didn't know what to do, and screamed out Bucks Nuggets. That sounds like me.
A hell of a pick. Anything else you want to touch on tonight? Or?
I'm good.
the Kings are about to lose by 30 to New Orleans at New Orleans. So
So not in the play.
So you mean Domantas Sabonis was not the answer to the play-in tournament?
that's what it's looking like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe don't try to make a trade to win into the 10th seed.
So you shouldn't have traded Tyrese Halliburton for Domantas Sabonis. Okay.
Wow, that still is mind blowing that happened. Kings get a Kings, man.
Kings get a Kings.
Well,
amen to that.
That is it for us tonight. Join us next week to talk more NBA basketball. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Twitch at the Box Out Boys. Slide into those DMs. Join us live Wednesdays at 8:30. Send us an email to theboxoutboys@gmail.com. And as always, like, subscribe, and review wherever you listen to this at now. We very much appreciate that. So for Chris, Joey, and Adam, I'm Titus. Until next time, Bucks Nuggets.
Halliburton's a 2010 guy. This is insane. He's so good.
Box out, people.